Hello everyone, Wolfie here. Today we are talking about fluffiness. How much fluffy can you get? Is fluffy viable in PvE TBC? On these questions and many more we are answering today. If you have followed me so far, you would know how much I praise the Druid. It is the ultimate class that can cover every aspect of the game and very effectively as well. But among all those specs, let's pick the fluffy one. The Boomkin, Moonkin, Boomking, Burb, Crit Chicken, Boomy, and so on are just some of the names for balanced Druid spec. Balanced Druid relies on spellcasting and weaving nature and arcane magic. But why would you play or need such a class in game where Shadow Warlocks and Fiery Mages are dominating? Boomies are seen as a support class for spellcasters and physical DPSers, and a quite good one as well. But can Boomy be more than just Crit Chicken? Generic talent tree loadout you can find on internet is highly either optimized or down straight solo DPS based. And since I'm a big fan of personal preference, I'd like to show you that you don't have to follow it 100%. First option is to choose either support Boomy or I guess PvP Boomy. I don't see a reason why would you need Nature's Grasp, but apparently some people heavily use it, even though boss fights where there are ads actually aren't outside. Second situation is the restoration tree. It depends on how good are you on self-casting Bark Skin in situations where you need to off-heal while taking pushback damage. If you are, then go with 2 points in Naturalist for decreased cast time and increased physical damage dealt, which isn't a bad choice at all due to Boomy form, which we will talk about in a moment. Or second option is to go with 2 points in Nature's Focus, where you have resistance to spellcast interruption when casting healing spells. When it comes to more specific talents that describe what makes Boomy a Boomy, I'll mention a few. First of all, Boomkin form. Increases armor by 400%, makes you immune to polymorph, gives 5% crit aura, and on top of that returns mana based on attack power when you're hitting mob or boss with melee attacks. This is where the restoration talent comes into play. Nothing too much, but it's something. Improved Fairy Fire gives plus 3% hit rating to all physical damage dealers. This is huge, because many classes are calculating their stats and gear setups having your Fairy Fire in mind, and will ask you to put it up if you fail to do so. Lunar Guidance is the reason why you should never run away from intellect pieces. That's why in the early game if you go for Spellfire you need to gem for more spell damage. Later on, higher tier gear will have a decent amount of intellect, so it will go in a secondary stat. Lastly, I'll mention Insect's form. As a spell you get from talent, decreasing boss's chance to hit means decreasing your tank's dodge and survivability. It is as easy as that, but when it comes to amount to spell hit rating, you want to go for 150 plus. Early game focus on spell damage as you will be spamming Wrath. Later on when you acquire upgraded gear, you start going for more crit and haste. You can never have enough crit pretty much, and you want a lot of it due to Nature's Grace talent, which gives you minus 0.5 seconds on your next spell cast. As for spell haste, I used to keep it constant. As long as my Starfire cast time wasn't under 2.8 seconds, I went for more haste. After that, as I mentioned, intellect due to talent, and lastly but not less important, spirit and MP5. Consumables are straightforward caster consumables. You can choose if you want to go with the flask of blinding light or 2 elixirs, which I would personally suggest if you want to perform better, especially in later phases. Utility and why are Boomies good for raid? As I mentioned already, they bring improved Fairy Fire and Boomy Aura for the party, which is most usually a Warlock group. But beside that, there's Innervate in case a healer needs it, Gift of the Wild for the raid, Dickers that doesn't take Boomy out of the shapeshift form, Abolish Poison, Thorns for tank, and most importantly the Battle Resurrection, Rebirth. In terms of CC, Druids can cast Entangling Roots in outside instances only, can hibernate beasts or soothe them, and lastly put enemy into Cyclone, but that renders mob untouchable as well. Boomkin's rotation is somewhere between Mage and a Warlock. It's spam of 1 spell in the endgame. In early game it's 1 or 2 depending on the preference. In early game the biggest DPS burst will be spamming Wrath and Moonfire, after you debuff the boss with Fairy Fire and Insect's form. Later on, when you build up critical chance and spell damage, along with a bigger mana pool, you will turn to Starfire spam and Fairy Fire. I personally used instant cast Moonfire very rarely in the raids, maybe as an opener to gamble and get Nature's Grace for my first Starfire. The only downside of Boomy is that all gear except weapon won't be visible on you, but this early on it might even be better, you rock the best transmog ever anyway. Since a lot of gear pieces come from tailoring, I'll list down them one by one which item is best in slot pre-raid in phase 1. Headpiece, Spellstrike Hood from tailoring. Neck, Brook of Heightened Potential from Blackheart in Shadow Labs Heroic. Shoulders, mana edge shoulder pads from Quagmiron in Slaveman's Heroic. Back, Sedek Oracle Cloak from Talon King Aikis. For chest, Spellfire Robe, Bracers of Havoc, Spellfire Gloves, Belt, and Pants are all tailoring made, except Bracers and Pants are bound on equip. Sigil Laced Boots from Skyris in Arcatraz, available in normal instance as well. Ring number 1 is from Exalted Reputation with Cenarion Expedition, and ring number 2 is from Heroic Old Hillsbred Foothills. Trinkets are tricky to pick, depending if you go with Crier, then take the Blood Gem from Reputation along with Silver Crescent. If you're in a party with Elemental Shaman, you can even replace Blood Gem with Quagmiron's Eye if you're good enough with your spell hit rating. Gavel of Unearthed Secrets for Main Hand from Lower City Reputation, and Talisman as Offhand from Badge Vendor is combination that beats others in Phase 1. Lastly, the Idol. Ivory Idol of the Moon Goddess for your own DPS increase, and second best in slot would be the Idol of Raven Goddess, but that's gonna be available with Quest Chain for Flash Flying Druid form. Professions for Boomkin are also preference. You can choose to go with Leatherworking Elemental set, which will help you in the long run if you decide to have Auspex in endgame, since Leatherworking is best in slot for both Feral and Resto. Or you can go with Tailoring, get Spellfire, and later on Sunfire Robe, which is highly self-DPS orientated. And it will help you from day one, where you can either craft cloths on your own cooldown or sell it for gold. Or craft cloths and sell those for gold. For the second profession, I suggest going for enchanting to boost your rings further and to earn money through DE or selling enchant services. But alternatively, you can go jewel crafting since it's best in slot for endgame. It's totally up to you and your abilities and alts you have. Gemming is fairly easy and simple. For the meta gem, you want to use Chaotic Skyfire Diamond. For flat spell damage, Ruined Living Ruby. Later on you can update it with Wild, Potent, or Reckless Noble Topaz depending on what you need or what you want to go for. For meta activation, you want a purple gem with spell power and stamina. Enchants won't give you a headache either. Glyph of Power for Helmet, Exceptional Stats for Chest, Spell Power for Pants, Gloves and Bracers, Boar Speed or Vitality on Boots. Both are viable, it's your preference. For Shoulder Enchant, I'd personally suggest Crier because the trinket is just too good to miss on, allowing you to gem more Reckless or Potent Noble Topazes. For weapon, best in slot is Sunfire, and if you choose to go Path of Enchanter, get spell power on your rings as well. And lately, macros, the most important part. Anyway, thanks for checking out my TBC booming guide. Long live the fluff, stay safe and have fun playing the game. Until the next video, bye bye!